Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this important update on the tropics. It's late October, and the tropics are active once again. Even as the season winds down, the Atlantic is still producing new weather threats, and we're keeping a close eye on every development. Today, the National Hurricane Center is monitoring a new system in the Atlantic, called Invest 98L. This designation means it's under special watch for possible tropical development. This disturbance is currently located over the eastern Caribbean Sea, bringing unsettled weather to the region. Over the next few days, it could develop into something more serious, so it's important to stay informed. We're deep into hurricane season, so seeing new systems isn't unusual, but this one is already showing some early signs of organization, with thunderstorms starting to cluster and winds picking up. The National Hurricane Center gives it a high chance of becoming a tropical depression within a week. That means residents in the Caribbean should pay close attention to updates and start thinking about their storm plans just in case. Right now, it's just a broad area of storms and gusty winds. Not yet a classic cyclone, but these systems can change quickly, so it's important not to let your guard down. Hurricane Hunter aircraft are flying into the system to gather crucial data. Their missions help meteorologists understand how the storm is evolving and what it might do next. The main story is that this system has real potential, and we'll be watching closely to see if it becomes the next named storm of the season. It could impact travel, shipping, and daily life in the region. Up next, let's break down what an invest is, why meteorologists track them so closely, and what it means for you and your community. You'll hear us say, invest a lot, especially during hurricane season, when the tropics are buzzing with activity and everyone's keeping a close eye on potential storms. But what exactly does invest mean, and why is it so important for tracking tropical weather? Invest is a special label the National Hurricane Center uses to flag a weather system for extra attention, focused monitoring, and more detailed data collection. It's like putting a spotlight on a system that could become something more. When a system is tagged as an invest, like 98L, it means meteorologists see enough potential for development that they want to track it closely. It's not a guarantee it will become a storm, but it's a sign it's worth watching. The story often begins with a tropical wave, a ripple in the atmosphere, usually born off the coast of Africa. These waves travel westward across the Atlantic, sometimes stretching for hundreds of miles, and act as the initial spark for many Atlantic hurricanes. Most tropical waves simply fade away, losing their energy over cooler waters or running into hostile winds. But every so often, one finds the right conditions, warm ocean water and gentle, upper-level winds, and starts to organize. Think of a tropical wave as a seed. Just like a seed needs sunlight, water, and good soil to grow, a tropical wave needs warm water, moist air, and calm winds to develop into something bigger. One of the biggest obstacles is wind shear, when winds at different heights blow in different directions or at different speeds. High wind shear can rip a developing storm apart before it has a chance to grow. But when wind shear is low and the waters are warm, like in the Caribbean right now, these systems can quickly gain strength and become organized. That's why the NHC is watching Invest 98L so closely, and has given it a high chance to strengthen in the coming days. All the right ingredients are coming together: warm water, low wind shear, and a well-defined wave. Now it's a waiting game to see if they combine just right to form a tropical depression or even a named storm. The next few days will be critical for Invest 98L's development. Meteorologists will be watching every new satellite image and computer model run for signs of strengthening. If the environment stays favorable, we could see rapid changes. Sometimes these systems can go from a cluster of storms to a tropical cyclone in less than a day. So, let's check in and see exactly where Invest 98L is right now, and what the latest data is telling us about its future. Here's the latest on Invest 98L's location. It's over the eastern Caribbean, a few hundred miles west of the Windward Islands. The system is large, so its rain and wind are already being felt in nearby islands. It's moving quickly west at 15 to 25 mph, which has actually slowed its development. Forecasters expect it to slow down soon, giving it more time over warm water, key for strengthening. As it slows, we'll watch for signs of better organization. The ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao, and parts of Hispaniola should stay alert as the system heads their way. Even if it's not a named storm yet, heavy rain and gusty winds are likely in the next couple of days. The westward track continues across the Caribbean for now. The big question, will Invest 98L become a tropical storm? The NHC puts its odds of development at 70–90% this week, a serious threat. Two main ingredients are fueling this: very warm Caribbean waters and, soon, lower wind shear. Warm water is the storm's fuel. As long as it stays over these waters, it can intensify. High wind shear has kept it disorganized, but that's forecast to drop soon. Once wind shear weakens, the system could quickly form a closed circulation, a key step to becoming a tropical depression. If winds reach 39 mm, it will be upgraded to a tropical storm. The stage is set for rapid changes. Forecasters are watching for that closed center to form. If it does, we'll have a new named storm on our hands. Let's talk about what that name will be. If Invest 98L's winds hit 39 mm, it will be named Melissa, the next on this year's Atlantic list. Storm names make tracking and communication easier for everyone. We've already seen several named storms this season, and Melissa would be typical for late October. The World Meteorological Organization manages these names, rotating lists every 6 years. Names are only retired if a storm is especially deadly or costly. For now, Melissa is just a possibility, but you'll hear it a lot if 98L strengthens. Remember, a storm doesn't need a name to be dangerous. 98L is already bringing heavy rain and gusty winds. Flooding and power outages can happen even before a system is officially named. Naming a storm is a wake-up call to finalize preparations. We'll be watching closely to see if and when Invest 98L becomes Melissa. Now let's look at where this storm could go. Once a storm forms, the big question is, where will it go? Tracking a tropical system is a complex process, and even small changes in the atmosphere can send it on a completely different path. Meteorologists use a combination of satellite data, computer models, and historical patterns to make their best predictions, but uncertainty always remains. Right now, Invest 98L is moving steadily west across the central Caribbean, gathering strength as it travels over warm waters. The system is being closely monitored for any signs of rapid development. For the next few days, that westward motion is expected to continue, but after that, things get tricky, as the storm could encounter different steering currents that might alter its direction. One scenario is that it keeps heading west into Central America, bringing heavy rain and possible flooding to countries like Nicaragua or Honduras. These areas are especially vulnerable to flash floods and landslides, so even a weaker storm can have a big impact. Another possibility is that the storm turns north or northwest, possibly toward Cuba, the Cayman Islands, or the Yucatan Peninsula. If it stays over warm water, it could strengthen quickly, posing a greater threat to those regions. A dip in the jet stream could help steer the storm north, but a strong high-pressure system might block that path and keep it moving west. The balance between these forces will be crucial in determining where the storm ends up. Most forecast models currently keep the system south of the US, but if the high weakens, there's a chance it could curve toward Florida or the Gulf Coast. That's why forecasters are watching the trend so closely. At this point, a direct US landfall is unlikely, but it's not out of the question. Residents along the Gulf and Atlantic coasts should still keep an eye on updates just in case. The forecast will become clearer as the system organizes and more data comes in. Each new update helps narrow down the possible paths. For now, everyone in the Caribbean and Central America should stay alert and review their emergency plans. Early preparation can make a huge difference if the storm heads your way. The storm's path could shift quickly, and changes in intensity or direction can happen with little warning. We'll keep you updated as the models come into better agreement and as new information becomes available. So, who should be getting ready now? Anyone in the potential path should take this time to prepare, stay informed, and be ready to act if watches or warnings are issued. Even with uncertainty, we know Invest 98L will bring wet, windy weather to parts of the Caribbean. The Windward Islands have already seen impacts. Now, the threat shifts west. The ABC Islands, northern Colombia, and Venezuela are next in line for heavy rain and gusty winds. Flooding is possible, so clear drains and secure loose objects now. Hispaniola, especially mountainous areas, faces a risk of dangerous mudslides. Some spots could see up to 2 feet of rain, causing life-threatening flooding. If the storm tracks toward Cuba, Jamaica, or the Cayman Islands, they'll need to prepare for stronger impacts. Even a weak system can be deadly, mainly from flooding. Stay alert and have your hurricane plan ready. Why can't we say exactly where this storm will go? The answer. Invest 98L is still forming, making its path hard to predict. Without a well-defined center, computer models disagree. Some show a track into Central America, others a turn toward Cuba. The models start with slightly different data and assumptions, so their forecasts diverge. The storm's future depends on steering currents. A strong high pushes it west, a dip in the jet stream could pull it north. Small changes in these patterns can mean big differences in the track. That's why we focus on the National Hurricane Center's forecast cone, not a single model line. The cone widens over time to reflect uncertainty. As the storm organizes, forecasts will get sharper. For now, patience and preparation are key. We'll keep watching as the models come into better agreement. Let's talk about how you can stay safe and informed. The bottom line, stay informed and be ready. If you're in the Caribbean or Central America, monitor this system closely. Even if you're in Florida or the Gulf Coast, don't tune out. Things can change fast. Now's the time to check your hurricane kit and review your emergency plan. Get your information from the National Hurricane Center at hurricanes.gov, updated every 6 hours. Trust local weather experts and emergency officials for community-specific updates. Don't rely on rumors or social media for critical information. Have a battery-powered weather radio in case of power outages. We'll keep tracking Invest 98L and bring you the latest updates. Watch, wait, and be ready. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Stay safe, everyone.